As big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the GSE Digital Startup Accelerator program. And I would like to say big congratulations to everyone who made it to this point. We started through an application call and you answered, and we went through the applications and we selected you to join this amazing program. So today marks the beginning of an exciting journey towards innovation, growth, and transformation. And at GSE, we believe in the power of entrepreneurship to drive progress and create lasting impacts. Over the course of this program, you have the opportunity to gain valuable insights and connect with industry leaders, and also access some tools to help scale your ventures into new heights. And this is an accelerator. It's more than just a program, and it will build this community of innovators and change makers that I know you all are. So we encourage you to make the most of every session throughout this program, and then also ask both questions, collaborate with your peers, and also remember to network and build what can be a transformational knowledge that you would gain throughout this program. So congratulations once again for being accepted into this program. And we want to say a huge congratulations to you and to welcome you to this amazing platform and to this amazing organization. Thank you for joining today. This is the very first session, and I'll be introducing our CEO to give her opening remarks. I know a lot of you know the CEO, but for those who don't know, I'd like to introduce Christine and Tim, the CEO of the Global Startup Ecosystem. It's my pleasure to welcome her to this Accelerator program.
Let me unmute and just say thank you so much, Dan, for the warm introduction. And guys, how's the vibes? Welcome to the Digital Startup Accelerator program. You are a part of the 7th annual Accelerator program. We have been doing this program for over 7 years now. And I will say I am so proud of each and every one of you for being a part of this program and making the decision to put your business first and put your entrepreneurial endeavors on the spotlight to grow and learn from this experience. It's going to be an amazing month with all of you. How many of you are excited for today? Team on the chat, can you share the vibes of everyone on the call today? People are excited. Let us know where you're coming in from, your company, why you're excited to be a part of this program. Team, let's share some love on the chat to share all the different members from across the world who joined this year's edition of the GSE Digital Accelerator program. We are so excited to welcome you. Yes, I see some energy. Everyone's excited. People are hyped. People are ready to go. You have heard so much about this program, and I'm so excited to welcome each and every one of you to this popular program that we have been working on for weeks, by the way. We've been working on this, and now you are here, and we are ready to go. So let's get started. So first and foremost, a warm welcome and exciting time for Global Entrepreneurship Week. This is a week where we celebrate you, the entrepreneur, because we all know being an entrepreneur is not easy, right? Comment entrepreneur. If you know you're an entrepreneur and you know the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur is not easy. But every single year during Global Entrepreneurship Week, many institutions all around the world celebrate people like you for your grit, your perseverance, your tenacity, your energy, your fire, for bringing products and services that not only serve your audience, but bring people to new heights. So we want to kick off this conversation this year by not only announcing the 7th annual GSE Digital Accelerator program, but also to celebrate you and commend you for all the work that you have done to be here with us today for this iconic program. So I'm so excited to welcome all of you. Now, let me give you a little bit brief about GSE. Many of you have heard about GSE, you've heard about the global startup ecosystem, but for many of you, this is probably your first time really interacting with the GSE program, right? And so I want to give you a warm welcome and an introduction to the world's first and largest digital accelerator program. This platform has been around for a long time, and we have worked with stakeholders from all around the world. And I want to give you an introduction to that journey. Our mission is to educate, inspire, and prepare individuals for the digital age, especially startup entrepreneurs. We work to really inspire and inform you with the right tools. At GSE, we aim to help you build and launch your company. So when you go out there in the world and you work with different stakeholders, you are able to scale strategically in your journey as an entrepreneur. The 3 pillars of engagement that we cover at GSE is entrepreneurship, employment, and education. And what do we mean by these 3 pillars? We know the solution to economic prosperity for anyone is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship creates jobs, it builds economies. For many of you, your impact in the world and your legacy is going to become feasible and viable and visible through entrepreneurship. And obviously through entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs, successful businesses like yours are able to employ others and of course, educate and inspire others for a new wave of not only the digital internet and the digital age, but a new wave of interacting as human beings socially around the world. Now, we have worked with dozens of partners and institutions and organizations over the years, from Forbes to LinkedIn to MasterCard to Facebook to SAP, and of course, powerful government institutions from the UN, right? World Bank. We have really worked with a lot of different stakeholders around the world to really bring this program to you free, to bring resources to you through our partner program where you get cloud credits to be able to scale your company online, which is in today's world, having the cloud credits to scale your business effectively and have those resources and partnerships and support is truly an amazing feat. And of course, to be able to inspire you. And our story have been shared in media outlets around the world. We are fortunate enough to have been inspired many different influencers that you probably are aware of, celebrities in the tech space, heads of states, to be on this journey with us at GSE. Whether it's Jack Dorsey or or Tim Draper or any of these influential leaders, we have been able to galvanize people through this accelerated program to make sure that this program serves you, the entrepreneur, inspires you, the entrepreneur, to put your best foot forward. So I want to give a huge shout out and an amazing thank you to all of our partners each and every year at GSE, making this program viable and visible for you to be successful in this program. So a huge shout out to IBM, AWS, and Google Cloud, especially for the cloud credits and partnership that they're providing to all of you to join this program. Now, obviously, GSC goes beyond our accelerated training programs. We host this program once a year where we galvanize close to 1,000 companies across multiple countries globally to do this program with us for several weeks. Right. But we also convene people through our digital tech, to our in-person tech summits around the world. You probably have heard these brands before, whether it's Haiti Tech Summit, Ghana Tech Summit, Nigeria Tech Summit, for those of you in Nigeria in the house, Caribbean Future Summit, all these iconic brands in the tech ecosystems that they foster a community in are managed by us, right? GSC. So we have branded and supported ecosystems specifically around the world through our tech summit programs as well. And our mission is to always galvanize the right stakeholders through our programming, whether it be our annual summits, whether it be our digital accelerator program, or our partner programs where we partner with institutions to help them build programs to serve entrepreneurs like you. We have been in this game for a while, and we are so proud of the journey that we have experienced over the years. And of course, I am so excited to welcome the team. I want to bring them to video real quick so you could get a look at the video. So obviously you just met Stan, who you'll be seeing for several weeks. William, let's give them a shout out. He's the head of community. And I know Nee is also on the line as well, who's excited to see you. So these are different members of the team. Hey, y'all, who are here that you will be interacting with via email, via DMs. Yes, many of you will be harassing them, right? We just want to bring to light the faces behind, because sometimes when you're emailing and engaging with people, we are still a people-centric organization, right? So I want to give the face behind the names that you will be interacting with over your journey as a participant in the GSE Accelerator program. So we're so excited to welcome you to the family. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this. So with that said, in terms of my participation in this, obviously you have my introduction as the CEO of the GSE Accelerator program, and I am actually traveling across the African continent with the U.S. State Department as a speaker during Global Entrepreneurship Week to inspire audiences like you to build a company with resilience. But my background started like you, going to different programs, going to different events, trying to figure out how to navigate entrepreneurship. I've been where you've been, okay? I have participated on probably almost every tech event, every webinar, every summit. If there was a program to teach entrepreneurs how to be successful, I was there. So the first thing I hope that you guys take away from this program is to be, one, intentional about being here. Don't say, oh, sometimes I might attend some of the programs. Maybe I'll tune in based on a speaker. Be very intentional about being here. Because when you are intentional, you take action. And when you take action, you get decisive. And when you get decisive, you move forward and you move mountains. Can I make sure I have some entrepreneurs who are ready to take action and move mountains and really have breakthroughs in their entrepreneurial journey? Are you with me here today? Right? I want to make sure I have the right entrepreneurs in the room who are excited to be here, who are on fire and ready to go. So my background, again, I'm an entrepreneur who started just where you're at as the CEO of the global startup ecosystem. I always share with you all the different things that we have done over the years and our excitement for building this platform for each and every one of you. And I want to start this conversation before we go into our amazing panel that we have scheduled for you here today, right? I want to again engage all of you to remind you that before you even begin this program, right? Before you begin this program, I want to make sure that you have the right mindset, okay? The right mindset to really be in this place, to think globally as an entrepreneur, right? Because we live in a digital space, right? Where you have the opportunity to take your business to such magnanimous proportions, right? And how you leverage that for your entrepreneurial journey is up to you, right? So I want to share this conversation with you first to make sure that you have the right mindset for today's journey and the journey beyond this program, right? So let's kick off. I want to share my slides here, all right? And get you guys started with this conversation of how to build an innovative company that makes a global impact. Because many of you are going beyond building a product or service. I want to make sure that I change and flip the paradigm of your thinking about how to go global. Now, if I were to ask any one of you, what do you think it takes to become a global entrepreneur? An entrepreneur who's building a product or service that will touch the hearts and minds of clients and customers and individuals around the world. Many of you probably will respond and say like, well, I would imagine that once I enter a new country or a new market, right, then I have gone global, right? The definition of going global has changed, right? Now, to go global, it's beyond just being able to add different countries on your roster. Because of the internet, you can reach global audiences overnight, right? There's absolutely no need for you to think small, think country by country, but think, how do you expand the entire ecosystem of clients and potential individuals who want to touch upon your business idea, right? And so with that said, I think over the years, we have seen so much in terms of the journey of entrepreneurs on the internet, on social media, right? And almost everyone now wants to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a boss. I want to be in charge of my life. I want to take action. I want to lead, right? You become just another entrepreneur who just announced maybe on LinkedIn that you're an entrepreneur, you have a business, right? But part of it is because I know many of you watch the magazines, watch the videos. We have glamorized entrepreneurship. Okay, let's be honest and have an honest conversation. We have glorified the journey of entrepreneurship, right? Because we see people on stages, we see people getting media mentions and awards and getting visibility. We have come to think that entrepreneurship, yes, I want this in my life. I want to have this possibility in my life. I want to manifest through this journey, right? But there's a dark side to entrepreneurship. For those of you who are in the grind, in like really building and scaling your business, you probably know too well there's also a hardship and a journey that you will take as an entrepreneur that might even almost break you and break your spirit, right? Building a business from idea to product market fit to scale, it is not easy because there's really no blueprint. There's no amount of learnings or institutions or programs or events that will prepare you for what's ahead of you, right? There's not enough programs in the world, again, that will prepare you for what is in front of you. You have to make the decision to know that no matter whether you have the highs or the lows, that you will maintain your spirit, your energy, and your grit to move forward despite the challenges that you will take. Because guess what? When you made the decision to be an entrepreneur, it's more than saying, I'm a boss now, I'm the CEO. It's not just a title. It's not just glory. You've also made a decision to really go after your dreams and aspirations, to build something from nothing. And that is a very, very, very important decision you are making in your life, right? And so with that said, when you make that decision and you know the hard work and dedication that's going to be needed and required to build this business from an idea to market, you start to really look at how are you going to take this product, this service, this idea, and make sure that you're not just building a business, that you are starting a movement, that you're building something that impact lives. And I want to, again, change your mindset today, because I feel like every single program on the planet that talks about entrepreneurship has a generic approach to talking about entrepreneurship. And I am tired of it. I want to make sure that we are building a new generation of entrepreneurs who are not only inspired, but are motivated beyond belief to build something with purpose that has an impact in a place in this world. We have so many trials and tribulations. People right now are giving up on dreams. There's so much since the pandemic. You guys have seen society has not been the same. Please answer to a higher calling. Businesses are meant to not only just fulfill a gap in the market, but see opportunities where people do not see it, right? How many of you are identifying opportunities and gaps in your community, in your country, in your industry that could change lives today? Now, for me to give you a visual of what this looked like, how to be a global entrepreneur with a powerful, resilient mindset, I want to give you some stories in a completely different way. Because when people talk about entrepreneurs and their journey, talk about their business model, their traction, but they don't talk about the journey it took for them as individuals to find their calling as entrepreneurs. I want to start with the story of J.K. Rowling. Many of you probably recognize this book, Harry Potter, right? I think we could all agree to the fact that there are many books in the world, right? I don't think we need another book launched today, right? But this was her product. Did you know that J.K. Rowling was living on government assistance? She was so poor she could barely manage for herself and her children. And every time, every single door she pitched the story of Harry Potter, they said no, they said no, they said no. It only took one person to say yes. Now, this book has been a part of an entire generation. She is not only a billionaire, she is successful beyond proportions. She has changed a generation of young people, young boys and girls for life. She answered to a higher calling despite her challenges, despite her background. She built something that every single one of you recognized immediately. Let me give you another example. How many of you probably have heard of Oprah Winfrey? Now, many of you know that she's a rich Black billionaire who has built a media empire. But many of you probably didn't know that she not only came from poverty, but she was abused, sexually abused as a child. This is trauma that to this day, no amount of riches can change what she's been through. Certain things, once taken from you, can't be given back. But she was able to leverage her journey, her pain, her trauma to add voices to other people. Keep in mind, prior to Oprah Winfrey, if you were to interview someone on a media outlet, it was some famous person, someone who we all knew. She was bringing voices to everyday people. That's how she built a media empire. Her service was bringing the voice to the voiceless, because she was once there. That was her calling as an entrepreneur. It wasn't just, let me create a TV show. No, she went beyond, a completely different approach to media that to this day, people are trying to replicate her success. Let me give you another person. Many of you probably recognize Jack Ma. Did you know Jack Ma could not even get a job? You guys are talking about struggling to find funding and resources to build your business. He could not even get a job. Let me give you an example. He applied to work at the local KFC. They had 24 applications. Out of 24 applications, he was the only one that was rejected. He could not get even a job. Now, guess what happens? If you can't find the job, you're going to create one. He is now not only a billionaire, he has now created jobs for thousands around the world. Talk about turning around your journey and your story to bring in your evolution, your background, to bring it to market. He's created a platform to accelerate other entrepreneurs through Alibaba, right? So these are stories of people who really looked at their backgrounds and took their business proposition to the next level despite their personal challenges. Now, I don't think this last example needs any introduction. We all know Dangote. Now, unlike the previous examples, he did not have a life of struggle or come from ill means. And I want to also remind you guys, not every struggle is financial. I think we have gotten to a point where we've almost perverted struggle, where everyone has to say that they struggled and they didn't have financial means. Do not take everyone's struggles and apply it to yours. I want to challenge you guys, for those of you who have family, how many of you know how to convince a family member to take a bet on you financially? Dangote's first investment was from his uncle. And today, one shape or form, almost every African has dealt or engaged with one of his products. His products has powered pretty much an entire construction industry, right? And so these are examples of entrepreneurs who went beyond building a product. They did not just build a product. They did not just build a service. They started a movement and leveraged their journey to be the right person to spark it, right? So I want to reframe again. As you hear journeys of entrepreneurs, how did they become global, right? How did they take their product to market, right? You got to be so committed to this mindset that it requires you to have the audacity from day one to know that your product will be touched in the hands and minds of people all over the world. You have to have an audacious goal from day one. Not maybe, not I will try. You have to have an audacious goal, right? So let me share with you the mindset you need to have. Now, what is the mindset? It starts with, first and foremost, you have to have the goods, right? You have to have a product or service that solves an actual problem or serves a higher purpose. Let me repeat that again. You have to have the goods that solves an actual problem or serves a higher purpose, right? Some of you have ideas, but it serves no audience. You need to make sure that you have a product that people need, or you might even innovate and create a need that people don't even know was there. Think of stories like Facebook and Uber and Airbnb, where they created an entire industry or transformed the current ones that were outdated. That's the first thing you need. The second thing is you need a launch strategy. Some of you don't know how to approach a global mindset. How do you take your product to global markets? It starts with you having a strategy on how to really make the introduction to your product or service. How will you introduce your product or service to the world? The same way you introduce yourself as an identity, your product or service also has a journey, right? Your product or service also has a journey. How are you going to introduce your product, your idea to the world? What is your launch strategy? Now, I know every single one of you know that entrepreneurs will always remember that defining moment where they seized an opportunity that changed the trajectory of their business. How many of you are seizing opportunities? And let me be very clear. Not every opportunity is one that is found. Sometimes, if you can't find opportunities, guess what you have to do? You have to create the opportunities for yourself. How many of you are making the tangible decision that if I can't find it, I will build it, I will create it, I will go forward one way or another. I will create opportunities for myself to be successful as an entrepreneur. How many of you have seized and created opportunities for your business to go global? You have to be tenacious. You have to be bold, and you have to be committed. That's why your mission, the reason why you're bringing this to market, has to drive you beyond any struggle or obstacle that comes your way, right? Now, this one is a big one because many of you take this for granted, the brand. Now, I'll say I talk a lot about personal brand. You probably could check my social media feeds. Personal brand is a big thing for me because personal brand is your reputation. Many of you don't realize that sometimes how you start your ID today, it might evolve and become a completely different product. But what would keep people picking up the phone when you call is your reputation. That is your personal brand, right? Because as an entrepreneur, you will go through multiple journeys and multiple iterations for your business. So your reputation has to be consistent. How do you consistently show up? So same thing with your product. Now, by definition, the definition of a brand, right? It's a product or service, right? That has a unique and distinct style that people can easily, distinctly recognize. That's the definition. Scrap that. Your brand, your business brand is your promise to your customer. I'm going to repeat that again. Your brand is your promise to your customer. If you have a brand promise, you always keep it. Some of you are showing up with your product like maybe it's delayed. You have an excuse. I couldn't get on the bus. It was raining. You come with a million excuses as to why you cannot fulfill your product promise. Stop that today. Because that brand promise is the reason why we go into products or services. We trust them, not because we love the product, but because we trust the product. Why do you choose to go with a mainstream product over a new up-and-coming product? It's because you trust the brand promise. You need to make a decision from day one that whatever product or service you bring to market, that you are going to maintain the brand promise of that product. Are we here? Right? So you got to really be dedicated to that brand promise. And of course, as you build this business, you're going to get to the point where you are growing and developing and scaling. This is where you need automation, where you're automating systems to make sure that you are growing the business effectively. Because a lot of people struggle with this part. Notice I said effectively, right? And now, one thing I will say, one feedback I will give for this, right? Don't ever automate certain things, right? Automate only the processes. Don't automate the people. I'm going to repeat that again. Automate the processes in your business. Never automate the people. Because you have to understand that you are still building a business that's based on relationships, right? So you have to be very committed to maintaining those relationships with integrity. You align systems, not people. Okay? So the last thing that you need to go global is your leadership. Some of you forget to think that you are not, as an entrepreneur, just building a product or service to serve clients. You are also tasked to also inspire an entire ecosystem to rally behind your business proposition. You are convincing investors. You are convincing partners. You are convincing vendors, right? You are convincing, you are constantly in a state of pitching. Everyone is being pitched, right? So you need to be very clear on your vision. You need to be very clear on your mission. You need to be very clear on your why. Why are you building the business? Because now people don't want your product, the what of your product, without knowing the why. Why are you doing this? This is the reason why I shared with you previous examples of entrepreneurs who persevered because they had a higher calling. They had a core reason as to why they wanted to push this product to market. And usually it's because they're serving a problem that really resonates with their heart. That's why don't just look at other entrepreneurs and see, oh, I see this opportunity. It looks like it's going to make me money. Let me just do it. No, pick the product, a problem that you know you want to serve for the entirety of the duration of building a business, right? What is your leadership? And I want to say this again. Leadership comes in different forms. Some of you are shy and soft-spoken, then leverage that when you communicate. Some of you are bold and audacious like me. So you leverage that. But whatever your form of leadership, lead authentically as you. Never replicate and duplicate and imitate anybody that you see as an entrepreneur just because you are proud of their success and you want to emulate their success. You build your own path. You lead by example, not by replication. And I want to stress that so much. I see so many entrepreneurs are trying to replicate what they see in Silicon Valley, replicate what they see in the USA. Stop that today. Lead by example. Find your authentic identity. Lead based on who you are. You have unique strengths and gifts and talents that make you who you are. Leverage that to leverage and really inspire your employees, your partners, your investors, your clients to be on the entire journey with you, right? Remember your leadership is very, very, very important. This is the mindset that it will take for you to go global. And I will tell you my journey to entrepreneurship. What I just shared with you today, how to go global, it's not something I read in a book. It's something I lived. It's a lived experience. It's something I learned, to be honest with you, the hard way, right? And I'm sharing that with you to make sure that you understand this from day one. My journey to entrepreneurship, for many of you, probably started with quitting your job and making a decision to go out there. That's how I started. And I moved to Dubai. No, I didn't know anyone, okay? But I want to stress to you that when you start something new, sometimes you don't even know if you're ready, right? How many of you have ever done something where you don't even know if you're ready to do it, but you're just motivated by something higher to move forward, right? So I give you this image of street markets because for me, this visual was so important for me. Seeing street markets and street vendors on the streets was very important to me. You know why? Because I too grew up as a street vendor. That's me and my dad. May he rest in peace. Selling in the streets, right? And I will tell you, for those of you who have mothers or grandmas or aunties who are selling in the streets, and maybe you're shy or you feel embarrassed that they sell, please honor them. There's no entrepreneur, there's no hustle than an entrepreneur that sells as a street vendor. There's a tenacity and a brilliance that they have that I cannot begin to tell you. I am proud of my grandma, who's the first in my family to be a street vendor. She died not even know I had to write her name, but through street vendors, she was able to really get her children, which starts with my mom, to a higher level in their lives. My mom also became a street vendor. So my grandmother was selling rice and foods. My mom started selling handcrafted art. And that's me right there, also street vending. Now, I started traveling the world trying to understand street markets globally. Okay. Now, let me be frank that this is me as a college graduate. Okay. In the streets, understanding street markets around the world. Right. And I want to share with you that when you are inspired and motivated to build a product or service to serve a need, there's certain things that resonate with you that make you so driven that you want to bring that to the world. This image is the image many of you probably have heard of, the earthquake that hit Haiti in 2010. What do you see there? It's a street vendor going back to business as usual, putting her products on the rubble and selling as business as usual, right? When I saw this, I knew I had to make a decision and create something for street markets and street vendors who are selling globally. So I started sketching. A lot of you think that your day one needs to be a public announcement. You need a press conference, big media, and all this kind of stuff. I don't know what has happened in society, but we no longer embrace the power of humble beginnings. Not everyone will be with you on day one, but I guarantee you, if you persevere and you keep going, everyone will be there for you when you get to the last mile. Keep going. And my day one was a sketch on paper. Just a sketch on paper. And this is the reason why I want to share this quote with you. Sometimes your only available transportation is a leap of faith. Take courage in the possibilities that are in front of you when you just go forth, right? Within 2 years of launching my company, I was automatic. You know when you're so crazy about your business idea, no matter where you go, you just talk about it everywhere. Even if the person doesn't care about the product or service, they become inspired by your product or service. You need to be so crazy about your business idea, about your product or service, that when people hear you, like, yeah, that's the street vending girl. Yeah, that's Christine. Like, people are able to introduce you before you walk into a room. Common introductions, if you want people to introduce you before you come into a room, because you are so lively with your business proposition that people are inspired to share your journey and your story. Within 2 years of launching my company, I made the Forbes list. And within 2 years, I was able to meet and get featured in media outlets, meet celebrities, work with major clients and institutions. I was able to see the world. I was able to walk into doors that I never knew existed. This is the journey of entrepreneurs who not build a business based on glory, but they build because of purpose. You are driven behind something that's in front of you. And so I want to end this conversation by reminding you that as you grow and launch and scale your businesses, to always have a global mindset, to always really put your energy and fire in everything that you do, and to go out there and show them, and not just be any entrepreneur, okay? That a globally minded entrepreneur who wants to build something with purpose and with integrity, that hopefully one day you're one of the stories that we're going to be talking about today and around the world. I hope to hear you all soar. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of the GSE Accelerator program. We are so proud of you. We are so inspired by your journey and your story, and we look forward to seeing all of you as you grow and scale your journey at GSE. Thank you so much, everyone. And I want to bring Stan back to the stage as we introduce the amazing panelists that I know personally. I'm so excited to see them again and bring them back live. Thank you so much, everyone. Stan, over to you.
Wow. Sure. Thank you so much, Christine. That was the amazing Christine, the CEO and the founder of the Global Startup Ecosystem, with her presentation. Wasn't that amazing? I'm sure, looking from the comments, that was quite amazing. There's a lot to take away from. So I do hope you're taking notes as well. This is one key aspect of the program that we have to be taking program as well. Okay. So great. We'll now transition to the panel. For the first panel of this session, we have three amazing speakers. And as they come on, let's give them a warm virtual welcome as they come on screen now. We have Bruce Wade, we also have Tina Pick and Elisa Oliver, all joining us on the panel today. Bruce Wade is he's an experiential innovator. He's a speaker, he's a coach and an author. Tina Pick is the founder of Project Cal, and Lisa is the founder of Literary Globe. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this panel. Okay, welcome. So to kick things off, we'll have you introduce yourself and tell us what you do. I'll start with you, Bruce. I think Bruce, I believe it's muted. Can you all hear Bruce, or am I the only one that can hear him?
All right, Tana, nice to see you. I think, Bruce is muted.
It's been so long.
Okay, so Tana, whilst we get Bruce to connect to his audio, why don't you do the introduction? Introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Sure. My name is Tena Pik. I'm originally Croatian, but I have been living and working globally to stay with the theme for the past 13 years. I actually met Christine while we were both in Dubai, and I was a part of the venture project as well, which served as a big inspiration for two other things that Christine really mentioned, which is staying authentic and building authentic global careers and staying passionate. My field that I come from is gender and development, so a lot of sustainable development looking through a gender lens. And Project Kal, which is a startup I founded 6 years ago in India, deals with reimagining what it means to be a man in the 21st century India. So we're looking at moving away from toxic masculinity patterns to healthy masculinity patterns, and working mostly with schools and community centers and boys and young men ages 14 to 18. I also teach social impact measurement for a variety of accelerators globally. So there's a lot of kind of impact and development work in my background.
Great. And welcome back to the GSE stage as well.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Leso. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Okay, so I'm originally South African, but I live in Amsterdam and I was educated in London. And I had an English bookshop for many years in Amsterdam, and that's where the Literary Globe comes from. It's about watching the pain that so many people go through in writing, authors writing books and not being able to sell them, and bookstores really struggling. And so that's the Literary Globe is the basis of the foundation of the Literary Globe is the English bookshop in Amsterdam.
Okay, great. Welcome as well, and welcome back as a return speaker. And finally, Bruce, welcome. We didn't quite hear you the first time, so do introduce yourself
All
and
right.
tell us what you do.
Good. All working now. Can you all hear me then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Right. Well, thank you very much. I'm from Cape Town. Good to see Liesel also from Cape Town originally. It's beautiful summer down here in Cape Town, and I've been involved in entrepreneurship and coaching for about 30 odd years, and been able to coach organizations across the globe. I'm now a international professional speaker and author. I've got a library of books, and I now speak to organizations about experiential innovation, elevating their customer service and customer experiences to new levels through innovation to look at sustainability for long-term profitability. So that's my main focus at the moment. Great to be here.
Great. And welcome all of you. You all have such amazing backgrounds, and I believe in sharing your journeys. You've all taken unique paths to build your successful ventures, and you've shared a little bit about your journey as well. But I want to now find out what inspired you to start your respective companies and your respective duties or roles that you currently have. I'll come back to you, Tena.
So over the past 12 years, how I do things has changed, but why I do things has not changed. So I think that a big part of my entrepreneurial journey is a flexibility and not being married to your solution, but rather being in love with your problem. And the driving passion behind it has really been the fact that I'm allergic to injustice. I cannot stand injustice, and I cannot stand to see unequitable conditions around me, and the way that we approach everything that we do through an unequitable lens, which is pretty much the world that we live in. So I would say that the main passion has been, and you have to be a little bit stupid enough and crazy enough to really believe that you can change the world in a substantial way by doing your own small things on repeat, day in and day out. But I would say that the passion has remained the same. It's just that how I do things changes, and that's a good thing. And the reason why how I do things changes because I learn more about the context, I educate myself more, you see what works, you see what doesn't work. So those things might change, but the passion and kind of the authentic desire to really make an impact remains pretty much steadfast. And it's not a straight road, right? It is a roller coaster, and there are days when you're like, why did I even start doing this? But if you are doing things from a perspective of authenticity and really a belief, then I do think that you can ride out those hard days a lot more easy.
Definitely, and I do agree that passion. Once you have that passion, the passion is the key component of that as well. How about you, Bruce? or how, if you can share a bit of your journey and how that inspired you, has inspired you to where you are now.
So I think I like the idea that you are birthed out of an allergy, and if I had an allergic reaction, it would be to kind of things staying the same. I hate mediocrity. I hate things not moving forward. So I'm always looking to create solutions. I'm looking to ways to innovate out of problems. So never accept the status quo, never accept things that the way they are, always continually fight for a solution and a way out. I don't enjoy people, and I don't enjoy working with people who are going like, well, it is what it is and I'm stuck here for life. We need to fight. We need to think like an entrepreneur. And a lot of what I do is I change the set of lenses that people see. And I say, we're going to change the lenses. You're going to see the world like an entrepreneur. A different set of lenses gives you an opportunity to get out and away from a situation which is not acceptable, whether it is any situation that you're in. I believe that if you do not ever give up, you will be able to change not only your world, but maybe the world around you, and maybe, like Dan was saying, the entire world as well. Because I think our global reach, as we heard just now, is just waiting for us to happen. It's not going to happen without every single day when my feet hit the floor. It's a new day. It's a new opportunity for changing and making ripples across the globe, and that's what drives me each and every day.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. Never accept the status quo. And I'll come to you, Leslie, as well. If you could share, same question, if you could share a bit of your journey and how that inspired you to what you do now.
Well, it was, like I said, it came from the English bookshop. And the thing that I really experienced was, writers coming into the shop and producing books that I'm not quite sure they had the right market for, or watching my own shop struggle so much, and because I didn't come up with innovative ideas. And it was all of these ideas that came together, and the loneliness of reading. So all of these were my different pain points. And then what I did was the Literary Globe are solutions to all of that. So within the Literary Globe, there's community bookstores. And how do you create a community bookstores? How do you actually talk to another reader? So, for example, I just finished reading a fantastic book a couple of months ago, and it's so hard to find the right book. So what the Literary Globe does, it brings readers together on a global level to actually talk to each other about the right book. So it's not solved through AI, because I don't think that AI can actually solve everything. But this is from reader to reader. And how do you do that? How do you bring together the community and like-minded people together? So this is all the different things, all these pain points that the Literary Globe solves, but it also solves, and this is very important, in one single place. So you've got the cross-connection that happens all the time, and that for me is really, really important. And we had that inside the shop. So I had inside the bookshop, I had this community. So I had publishers, I had literary service providers, I had agents inside the shop that actually, told me their pain problems. And again, like I say, that's my inspiration is from the English bookshop and watching people go through those difficulties and knowing what the solutions were, but then putting it together as I'm doing now, the Literary Globe. So there we are.
All right. Great. Thank you. An amazing journey so far and really inspiring as well. I want us to discuss scaling it within a digital age. And this time we'll be delving into some of your endeavors as well. I'll start with you, Bruce, this time. As an innovator and a coach, you work closely with businesses on experiential goals. And in this digital first world, how do you think startups can create meaningful customer experiences that can particularly drive engagement as well as brand loyalty?
So maybe I can use by example this pot. So let me put that pot there. It's got three legs, and it's vital that it's got three legs, because A three-legged pot will never rock. And that's why they make three-legged pots, to go on fires or to make chairs, to milk cows. They've also got 3 legs. So with 3 legs, we can build an entire business. And just to quickly outline each of these, is that 1 leg is me as the business owner, 1 leg is my customer, and the other leg is the customer experience. So briefly, we've got to look at ourselves. You've got to develop a really strong skin with a good self-esteem. You cannot go out and build a business if you haven't healed internally. A lot of people go like, I'm going to do this, and in my journey, we're going to heal together. I believe it's going to come back and bite you. So sort out your stuff first. Go seek professional help, counseling, mentoring, coaching, to sort out some of your dark demons before you venture out into the world of global entrepreneurship, as we're speaking about there. Learn to manage yourself. Self-discipline has got to be right up there. If you're lying in bed or lying on the sofa and watching Netflix or scrolling on your phone for hours on end, have the discipline to get up early in the morning and get to work, sit at work. You're the worst boss you're ever going to have. Learn to live with it and learn to manage yourself and make sure that you don't compromise. And good self-discipline is right up there. Do what you say and say what you do, and others will follow you. We're able to get there. So the first leg is all about yourself. The second leg is your customer. Learn to be customer-centric, not product-centric, and definitely not financially centric. As soon as you become fiscally centric in your business, your customer ceases to exist in top priority. So your customer has to be right up front there, and be problem focused. I love that. Your goods, as we were hearing from Christine, is that the G for goods and global, it's got to be right up there. If you're not solving a problem or saving costs or adding an experience, your business shouldn't exist. Don't try copycat someone else. We see that a lot in Africa. People go out there and say, oh, you across the road are making muffins and you're earning money, therefore I'm going to make muffins. And we just copycat. You're not solving a problem. You're just trying to imitate other people. So you've got to be problem focused. You've got to understand the needs and wants of your client and be solution orientated. You've got to be able to understand the difference between features and benefits of your product, and to be able to tell that in 20 seconds and not sit there and go, well, basically it could understand that. A good entrepreneur can do an elevator pitch in 20 seconds and we know what they're about. And to be able to push there, and then learn how to do this thing called mass customization. It's a skill that very few big corporates have even understood, but some are doing it amazingly. If we can do mass customization, which is personalization for each and every customer on a big scale, learn those traits and you'll be able to then have what we call raving fans. The third one is the experience. Quickly, it's got to be emotional based, it's got to be client centric, and your experience has to linger longer in the souls of your customer. If not, they are going to forget about you. If you get all those 3 legs together, raving fans give you the best 3 R's that you will ever have, and they are reviews, returns, and referrals, and not returns of products, returns of service and repeat buying. So that is my little pot of business that I'd like to share with you.
Thank you so much. So many sound bites from that short moment. I'll come to you, Leso. Literary Globe combines tech and literature, like you mentioned. And how did digital tools play a role in scaling Literary Globe? And what would you recommend for founders in niche markets who want to use digital solutions to reach a much broader audience?
Well, yeah, of course you have to have your own platform. You have to have your own marketplace. And of course you have to have your own social media. My advice is, and it's something that I'm really passionate about, is storytelling. So if you can bring that across in your message, I think that's key. But another thing, and this is what I want to, I agree with you, Bruce, about everything that you said. But the one thing that I'm bringing through further inside the literary globe is authenticity. And that's one of the things that I'm really strong on. So, for example, on our opening page, we're going to have a book club discussion. And it's not going to be all the supermodels of this world. It's going to be just all of us talking about books around a table. And it's going to be really authentic, and it's going to be live streamed. So that is, for me, key for the literary globe. It's the authenticity. Together with everything else that you said, Bruce, absolutely 100%, but that's my added value on that. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you as well. Yes. And I'll come to you, Tina. With Project Cow, um, you focus on social impact and empowerment. So, how can digital tools and platforms help scale initiatives that prioritize social impact in particular? And what advice would you give to startups looking to balance profits and purpose?
I'm going to piggyback onto Bruce and say that if you are in the impact business and you start focusing on the profit, you are probably going to lose sight of the impact. If you build your business correctly from the beginning, it should be like this: the more impact, the more money, the more money, the more impact, which means that sustainability and impact are the backbone of the business and not a CSR kind of an add-on. So that's number one. Now, to go back to digital, I know this is a global digital accelerator, but I do not believe that digital is a silver bullet. Tech is a facilitator, but it is not a silver bullet. It is not going to bring development to the parts of the world that chronically need it. It is not going to connect us with stakeholders that have been chronically disenfranchised. People have tried throwing tech solutions at those kind of problems, and they have failed more often than not, or rather not achieved the level of impact they were hoping for. So tech is a facilitator. It helps you with last mile connectivity and so on. But if you're working with environments that have infrastructural problems and so on, tech will not be the silver bullet that you hope for. Unfortunately, we are all nowadays our own brand, whether you like it or not. So in terms of trust building and profile building, you absolutely have to have a digital footprint. However, when it comes down to creating sustainable, long-term and transformative impact, I will say that human touch can still not be fully replaced. So don't get too caught up chasing the next sexy tech solution. Rather focus on what is the actual depth of impact rather than breadth of impact, right? I believe in creating impact that's transformative and deep rather than scaling too fast and spreading yourself too thin, which tech can definitely facilitate. So think about what is the actual strategy that you have impact wise. Is it the breadth or is it the depth? And how are you actually going to be balancing the two without losing sight of the fact that even us who are in the impact space have to make a living out of something, right? So there's no shame in in creating a financially sustainable business, but do not lose sight of the impact goals that have to be at the core of what you do.
Great, great. Thank you so much for those amazing insights, particularly about scaling and digitization as well. And it's really thought provoking, as you can see from the comment. I'll throw it out to the for the attendees. If you do have any questions, you could put them in the chat feed and we'll pick them up. But I want to ask now for all of you, and with this time I'll be starting with you, Lysel. Um, Looking to the future, what are some key digital trends or emerging technologies that you believe will shape the startup ecosystem over the next, say, 5 years?
Well, of course, everyone's talking about artificial intelligence, and I have to say, for me, it's been a blessing. It's really helped me. But we're getting special intelligence produced in the next 5 years, which is decision making, I believe. And I think that that's going to be a mass. I mean, artificial intelligence is impressive, but special intelligence, that's the next one. And I think that's really that's serious stuff. But for the rest of it, I I agree with what Tanner said. It's not silver bullet. It is very important, 100%. But I think it's all together. It's the creativity of your business, the person that you are that's running the business, as well as the technology. of course, don't underestimate all of those, the trends and things, but it's more than just tech. That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. How about you, Tina? Any key digital trends or emerging technologies you believe will shape the ecosystem in the next 5 years?
Yeah, AI definitely, in ways that I'm not sure that we are even aware or can predict right now, because it's outpacing us, and it's outpacing itself as well. So in way, so from like now, forget the entrepreneurial perspective. From a parent perspective, I'm preparing my son for a world in which like we will not even recognize a single job that exists, because so much of that will be automated, and AI is going to be taking over so much. However, it all comes down to the human touch and to the authenticity of the founder, and there are things that will not be replaced. So I completely agree with Laisel, and in the just don't chase trends. Be present in an authentic shape and form, and create solutions that your communities actually need. And then you can really use tools like AI in a way that's helpful, rather than being afraid that you're going to be replaced by a machine, because authenticity and that human touch cannot be replaced that easily. So focus on creating those communities of care and reimagining what it actually means in the world that's digitally leapfrogging forward.
Okay, great. And to you, Bruce, as well.
Yeah,
The
I
key
like what we're
trends
saying.
or emerging technology.
I think all these sort of technology. I love tech. I'm a early adapter. I'm sitting in my office here in my studio, and I'm surrounded by tech. The first three people I speak to every day aren't people, and I love that. I walk around with Claude, Susie, and Alexa. They're my companions, but AI is not going to replace me, but AI will replace entrepreneurs who don't know how to use AI. And I always see AI as a good suit. Whenever I wear a good suit, I think better, I speak better, and people perceive me as smarter. If I'm using AI, people see me as clever. They interact with me on a far higher level, and I'm perceived as a smarter, more interactive player in the market. I never ever let AI lead on anything else, but it's definitely an assister, a leverage, and an accelerator for ideas. I can sit and brainstorm in my car with various AI tools, like I'm having a phone conversation, and we come up with great ideas, but never ever will it replace me, but it enhances me. And I think that is a good indication of where we're going. We had automated intelligence. Now we've got, artificial intelligence, and soon we'll have this whole specialist intelligence, which branches out into a whole lot of new areas. But never ever put AI ahead of yourself. You are the lead. It's your brand, your company, your decisions, but make yourself look better and shine brighter using technology, whatever it is. Even the ability to be on things like StreamYard and Zoom and Teams, to be able to communicate your ideas better at a level that is smarter, faster, and at a nicer level than anybody else. Just puts you ahead of the curve, which I think is good.
Okay, great. And thank you so much for your insights as well. Before we'll take it's now open for questions from the cohort as well. But then, as we wait for questions to come in, what advice will you give to founders or up and coming founders today? I'll start with you, Tina. Any advice for founders generally?
Increase your pain tolerance. This is not a particularly pleasant or comfortable journey. I obviously believe it's worth it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it for the past 40. I've never had a proper job. So obviously, I believe it's worth it. But don't expect that the path from day one, which should be a scribble on a paper, like Christine said, to day 1,000. Don't expect it to be a smooth ride, an easy one, and just really persevere and thick skin and don't take things too personally. That's my only like things that I've actually internalized over time.
All right, thank you. Laisel.
Don't be afraid to stop. Um, it's not for everyone. I'm glad that I had a bookshop, and I'm glad that I went through that. And I spent a lot of time working on my own, being my own boss, and it was a gentle introduction. But it's a journey that's not horizontal; it's perpendicular. You know, I mean, it's tougher than you can even begin to imagine. And if there is anything, any demons, as you said, Bruce, you really have to be almost a perfect human being to cope with the pressure. At every level, you're challenged. Every level, emotionally, physically, financially. It's not for everyone.
Okay, great. Bruce.
I think after that, everyone's left now and gone back to get a job.
Sorry, it's a little bit too Dutch for me.
I fully agree with this. If I knew the pain and the suffering, but maybe knowing the joy and the pleasure of having a big business with impact and knowing the tens of thousands of people that are different today because I got out of bed and I got out of corporate. And the day I actually got retrenched while I was in Amsterdam, and woke up one morning and I had a really good job in the morning. By the time I went to bed, I didn't have a job, came back to South Africa and decided that was it, went and filled in a form, started my own business. And I had no cooking clue what I was doing. But the lessons I've learned are amazing there. So if I had to sum it up, it would be act fast, get stuff done, fail fast, and learn faster. So failure is not a bad thing when you're entrepreneur. If it doesn't work, change it, stop it, learn from it, get something else done the next day. Don't wallow in the misery. It's not a broken relationship. It's not your life. It's just a project. Fail it. The shortest company I ever had, I launched on Monday and closed it on Thursday. It was literally 3.5 days, and it was one of the best things I've done. And I still get lessons that I write about and speak about from those 3 days of my amazing business. The longer businesses, they've been going on for years. I've sold some, I've merged some, I've given stuff up. Some have drifted off into the dark at night. But we keep on going and keep on going. So I've got 2 things tattooed to my wrist. The one says, get it done, and the other says, let it go. And those 2 mantras are inside on my wrist. They're my own mantras for me. And that has been something that people always go like, I can't believe how much you get done. As soon as you say, we agree on it, and as soon as we finish the call or the meeting, I get stuff done, because that's what it's all about. Not wallowing in one day when a slower day will come, because you know what? Slower days are never, ever going to come. This elusive thing, we'll wait till Christmas when it's quiet. No, it's always busy, always ready. Get stuff done, let stuff go, move on, learn, and grow as an entrepreneur.
Amazing, great. There's time for I can see a couple of questions, so we'll take those. I'll throw them out and see who could pick them. So there's one from Caleb here that says, is there any disadvantage of totally avoiding AI? I don't like AI because it kills human intelligence. Would I still thrive if I totally avoid it? I don't know who wants to tackle that.
I find it so fantastic, AI. I mean, it's so enhancing. It doesn't kill human intelligence. I disagree. I think if you work together with AI, I've learned so much through it. I don't see how you can avoid it. You just have to learn to work with it. I think it's a really amazing tool. It works for me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm
Great.
not an early
And there's
adapter.
another
Oh, sorry. I'm not an early adapter of any technology. However, I will say that if you are building something that's substantial and is going to require you to scale, this is just going to save you so much time. Time
Yeah,
you're going to be
completely.
wasting on doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
From drafting like PR press releases onwards, it's going to save you a ton of time. And don't forget, it's only as good as your input. So basically, it is a reflection of human intelligence still. It's a language processing model more than anything else. So it works really, really closely with you. And as someone who is a skeptic in many, many ways, I will say that you're just going to be in a world of pain that you can avoid by just automating a ton of stuff and being much faster if you use it.
amazing. I would like to say thank you so much to all of you. It's been an amazing time. I mean, the chat feed is buzzing. But before you go, I want you to tell us or tell the cohort how they can reach you in case they have further questions as well. I'll go around again, starting with you, Tina. How can the cohort reach you with Amy?
I'm the only Tena pick on the internet, so you can find me across platforms, LinkedIn being the best one. One word of advice, and take this as like free last minute advice. When you're approaching people on LinkedIn, be precise in what you want. Don't waste your time or anybody else's time by being like, I'm interested in what you do. That does not mean much. So try and be precise with what you want so that people can be their most efficient selves to actually help you. See, Bruce has all these cool tech tricks that I have LinkedIn. So feel free to add me on LinkedIn, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch.
Okay, Bruce, do I still need to ask?
Okay. Find me on LinkedIn. I've already connected with the other panelists here on LinkedIn. Scoped them out. You should be reading everything. But there is my QR code. You can find me. Somebody said they want to have a chat. I offer a 42-minute chat with Bruce. No fee. No conditions, just a time to chat. You can do that. Otherwise, you can find me on LinkedIn. And I agree. Don't just send me, I like you, or oh, you're so pretty, I want to connect with you, or I think we can do business together. Be specific. Say, we met at the Digital Startup Accelerator program, and I'd like to have a connection. I'll send you the link. Find a time in my diary. Let's connect. I love chatting to people. I love sharing ideas, and if you have an opportunity to come and join me on one of my programs, I'd love to have you. We don't choose everybody. We're very, very, very fussy about who we have with us, but if you're with us, it's a journey that is worth the ride. It comes with hard hat and seatbelt, and it's a huge amount of fun.
The same.
Lester, how about you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is fine. You'll find me there.
All right. I'd like to say thank you so much to all of you. It's been an amazing time for sharing your thought leadership with us and your experiences with us. It's quite invaluable, and we are really happy you could join us today. Thank you so much for your time today. All right. So that was our first panel for today. We had Tina Pick, Bruce Wade, as well as Lester Oliver all joining us today for an amazing panel. We'll be transitioning shortly to the next panel for today. And before we do that, we'll take a quick break whilst we bring in the next panel on. So prepare yourself, grab a bottle of water, take a quick break so that we now introduce the next panel after the break.
one person could be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
Welcome back. Uh, I'm sure you agree with me that that first panel was amazing. For the second panel, we have an amazing group, and I'm really excited to introduce these ladies and gentlemen to the stage. This panel is made up of an amazing cast that includes Ketaki Sharma. I hope I get the name, who is the founder and CEO of Algorithm Research. We also have Melissa Putin, who is the founder of Your Money Worth, and Olumide Ogunle, who is the growth and expansion manager at Overall Labs Incorporated, and also the founder of Proba. Now, this panel is made up of inspiring alumni of the GSE Digital Accelerator program who share their journeys, challenges, and success in building and scaling digital first businesses. So these are, you should have questions for them because they have been in your shoes before. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this panel. It's my pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's
Right.
awesome to be here.
Great. And I'm sure you have a lot to say, but to kickstart it, you do a quick introduction about who you are and what you do currently.
Should I go first?
Yes, Kentucky, you go first.
Hi, so my name is Ketki Sharma. I'm the founder and CEO of Algorithm Research. We are based out of Dubai, and I founded Algorithm Research about 8.5 years back in 2016. And it's a boutique economics consulting and business research providing firm. So our research is based out of Dubai, and we provide it to clients across the globe.
Great. How about you?
Okay, so yeah, hi. So my name is Olumide Ogunle, and I'm the founder of Proba. Yeah, we started Proba like 2 years ago, and Proba is an edtech community. I would call it more like a
I believe we've lost Olumide there. Hopefully, you could get. He's a bit frozen. So I'll come back to you, Ketaki, whilst we're able to sort out Olumide. Okay.
Sure.
So you, as an alumni of the Accelerator program, I would like you to share some valuable lessons or takeaways you gained from the program. I know it's been many years, but hopefully you could remember some lessons and takeaways, and that has impacted your journey as a founder.
Absolutely. So I think I was a part of the very first accelerator program that Christine had organized in 2016, and it was the same year we were founded. So this came at at a time when we needed it the most, because prior to founding Algorithm Research, I was doing my corporate job for 8.5 years. So, once you've been working in a corporate setup for that long, your mindset is not that of an entrepreneur, it's that of an employee. And I think the key takeaway, my favorite takeaway from Christine's program was the emphasis on building your personal brand. I think that one session that Christine did on building your personal brand was an eye opener. So she insisted that, every founder that wants its startups to succeed must build their own personal brand, because that's going to be the brand that the startup would get the benefit of. And a founder is like the rainmaker, and she came out with so many actionable insights and actionable ideas about how to go about and do it. And for someone like me who had a research background, so I have been an economist out and out. Prior to setting up algorithm research, uh, you know I worked with many firms, including S&P, Nomura Securities. I set up a research desk at a local bank here. But building a personal brand was never something that I actually thought about or did. And that was something that I learned with Christine in the program. So that was my key takeaway from the Accelerator program in 2016, the very first one.
Yeah.
Great, great, great. I'm happy we have someone who's there from the beginning on. So thank you so much for coming back to share some of your experience with us. Welcome back, Olumide. So
Yeah, I
I
think
want you
I had
to
an
just, you're an
additional.
alumni of the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wanted to know if you could share some valuable lessons or takeaways you gained from the program that have impacted your journey as a founder today.
Yeah, so I think my program occurred in 2019, right? And it was a eye-opening section, right, where um, most of what I learned during the entire program actually propelled me to starting Proba, right? And as at that time too, I was actually in a 9 to 5, where some of the nugget I got from the accelerator program was I applied it to where I was actually working to grow the business there, and it really helped me. So during the course of the program, we had at the end of it, we had access to some perks that was given to to participants, and that really helped in launching my business, the first here, where we had no revenue in, and that really helped a lot. So I would say it was one of the things that actually helped soften the pain and challenges that you face in starting a company. So yeah.
Great, great. Welcome back as well. And welcome, Melissa. Lovely to have you on. Kindly introduce yourself. Tell us what you do now before sharing any key takeaways or valuable experience from your time as an alumni of the program.
Sure. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Melissa Buta, and I am from the Caribbean. And I am the founder of Your Money Worth, that focuses on collective financial well-being and financial education for the Eastern Caribbean. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Great, great, great. Welcome, welcome everyone as well. It's amazing having you on. Now, I want to find out, can each of you tell us a bit about your business journey and what inspired you to start your company or companies? I'll start with you, Ketaki.
Sure. So Sanil, I'll be honest here. So while there were ideas, so there was always this idea for me that I wanted to start a company, but the real propellant was the birth of my daughter. So once I became a mother, I think that's when, I was very keen on giving it a, a shot, right? So, like I said some time back, I was in the corporate sector for 8.5 years before starting algorithm research, and I've been an economist out and out. I've worked with the likes of S&P, with Nomura Securities, with setting up research desks at banks in the Middle East. And while doing so, I noticed that there was a gap. So we from here we tend to outsource some of our research to places like London or Mumbai, depending on the budget. We would outsource our research, and that research tended to lack social context, and therefore the policy implications or the advisory was not very relevant. The research did not really provide necessary insights. So that was a gap that I felt in the work, and I thought that if only we had a research firm that was based out of the region, that could provide solutions or insights that were socially relevant and made from people in the country, or people who had awareness of what's happening in the country. So the idea was there, and I think my daughter, when she came up, it was just something I said, okay, now I was traveling from Dubai to Abu Dhabi every day for work and spending 3 hours in the car. And I said, okay, I think if not now, then never, because I think pain, physically, emotionally, in every way, I was putting in more than 100%. So I thought this was the time, and that's how algorithm research was born. I gave myself two years. If it worked, I'd continue. If it did not, I would just find a job. But by God's grace, it's 8.5 years, and we are still going.
Great, great. And congratulations that you're still going on that as well. How about you, Olumide? Can you share a bit about your business journey and what inspired you to start your company?
Okay, yeah. So Proba is a tech startup where we actually train product management enthusiasts or people or students that are actually interested in the no code side of tech, right? And we kind of had a little bit twist to it where we incorporate gamification and artificial intelligence to actually understand what each student interest, right, to help you tailor towards the area that actually fits your personality, and then we gamify each of the experience to make it fun in learning these tech skills, right? So for me, what actually propelled me to start this was that I'm a product manager by background, and when I started learning, um, it was quite hard for me to get um, direction, to the extent that I had to go on LinkedIn messaging different top product managers in the industry as at then to say, oh, am I doing the right thing? How should I do that? And it wasn't interesting at all. It wasn't easy. I had to like cover a lot of materials before I knew, oh, no, this doesn't matter right now. This is not what I'm supposed to focus on. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. So yeah, so after some few years into it, product management, I decided to I want to make a difference in this field, and see how I can help those that are interested in tech, but they don't want to go into coding and all of that. There's more of skill set you can learn: product management, product design, business analysis, and how you can learn it in a fun way, and also you get to go through a psychometric test, or if used by AI to advise you on the best career path you should pick. So yeah, so that's how I started, and so far we've graduated quite a bit above 250, and we have like 30 to 40% of that percentage in our jobs. Yeah.
Great, great. Congratulations on your endeavors as well. And further to you, Melissa, you tell us about your business journey and what inspired you to start your company.
So I immigrated to the United States when I was 16 and went to college. And part of paying for my financial education, I used financial aid, federal student loans, and private student loans from the Caribbean. Once I successfully completed school and was repaying my student loans, it was very confusing trying to understand how to balance my own personal finances and understand the loans that I really took out now that I was in repayment. One of the biggest issues that I faced was figuring out how my student loans work, not only the US student loans, but the ones in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, at the time, the lender wouldn't provide as much information about how your payments are being applied to your loan. Sometimes you wouldn't get statements. So as I started researching on my own, different online blogs and books, I realized that I really need to get statements or be able to see what is happening with my payments. So I was able to get the lender in the Caribbean to provide statements to me. And then I realized that I made like $4,000 in payments and the balance didn't move. So from that point, I, spent so much time trying to figure out, what went wrong. And I created a plan to basically pay off my loans early, even though I was like almost a year behind. I started sharing about, my journey, and other borrowers started, reaching out to me saying, well, I have the same issue, or I didn't know that this is how the loan work. I've been making payments and the balance is not really moving, or I don't even have an idea of what is happening. So I set out to start yourmoneyworth.com, which started out as a blog, basically to provide personal finance information and steps to not only manage your day-to-day personal finances, but especially when you have large student loan debt. I then went on to write a book called Student Loan Answers, a 7-step guide for Caribbean student loans, basically, for this group of people who don't have access to any online information about personal finance in general. It served both those who live in the Caribbean and immigrants like me who use Caribbean student loans to pay for their school while they're living in the US. It then evolved to coaching. So I would provide personal finance coaching to both borrowers in the Caribbean and the US-based borrowers who have US student loans, navigating, the different nuances of federal repayment, trying to understand, the steps they should take to really get their loans paid off, or sometimes to lower their payments while they balance their finances. And now I am in the middle of pivoting because I relocated back to the Caribbean and realized that beyond student loans, there is just a wide gap of no financial education that's accessible and culturally relevant online. So pivoting from coaching and having an online blog, I'm now building an edtech solution that is providing financial education to basically improve the financial well-being of the Eastern Caribbean community.
It's an amazing journey, and thank you so much for sharing, all of you. And I'll be coming to you, Olumide. Has your business been, or your business strategy been impacted by digital transformation? And if so, do you have any digital tools or practices that have been game changers for you?
Okay, so for me, one of the major thing that's actually helped us like grow is um, the Google Business starter package tools, right, which we use for like live virtual classes, right, where we actually want to like go, have one-on-one with our students. So right, so the entire package in that has really helped us, properly manage, like live classes, and helped with scaling each class from 2, 3, 4, 5 to having over 40, 50 in a class, right? So that was one of the like tools that have actually helped us scale for our live classes. And the hosting platform AWS too has been a game changer for us for launching our gamification tool, right, for helping the student to make the learning more fun, and taking tests and assignments, right, to validate what they've actually learned in class. So this game changing tool set, and yeah, has really helped us to scale fast. Yeah.
Thank you. Ketaki, how about you?
So, for me, most of our, or actually all of our solutions, services, are backed by, I mean, they're all data driven and data. So, with data, you need insights, and for better insights, you have to use the latest technology, right? So, we use a lot of machine learning. We use a lot of, so Python programming, machine learning, AI. We use big data analytics, and our solutions are driven by the latest, that the best, the latest tools. Personally, also to run my business better, to be more productive, efficient, and keep costs under control, I have been consistently using AI. So, for example, Chat GPT is the best assistant you could have, especially, when you are, say, drafting something, you just want a draft of it. It does a decent job. It could actually replace a new, say, analyst, a junior analyst, and do the first draft for you. Similarly, I would say for design, Canva. Please go to Canva, use Canva. It helps you save a ton of money and resources on design, right? And making your product look better. So we don't use designers at all now. We started with them, we don't use them anymore because I think Canva for us does it. And then thirdly, we use Taplio for LinkedIn because as a founder, you are the main rainmaker for your company. And for us, our clients are on LinkedIn. So we have to take LinkedIn really seriously. And for that, I use Taplio. So I consume a lot of the latest tech, digital and digital products, and also when we provide our services, we use the latest. So yes, for us, it's we always try to keep pace with what's going on.
Great. Thank you. I'll come to you, Melissa, as well. Do you have any tools that you've used, digital tools or practices that have helped you in your company or have been a game changer?
Mute. You're on mute.
Melissa, yes.
I said definitely ChatGPT and AI tools that can help you with drafting and operating your business, but also the ability to leverage ChatGPT to create your own GPT. One of the things that I've tested is using ChatGPT to ask it personal finance questions that is relevant to the Caribbean. So a simple question such as, well, how many banks are there? ChatGPT doesn't have that information because that information cannot be, scraped from online. It's not online. So recognizing that gap, even though it's such a powerful tool, that's an opportunity to create create a custom ChatGPT or a custom GPT that would serve the Caribbean region in terms of personal finance information.
Okay. Great. Thank you for sharing as well. I'll be taking some to be asking what's next for each of you. But before that, I want to open it up to the cohort as well. If you have any questions for this alumni and this um, experienced entrepreneurs, you could now send them into the chat, and then we'll be able to address throw it to them. Okay. So questions from the cohort are open now. So whilst we wait for questions, I wanted to find out what's next for each of you and your companies. What exciting projects or innovations should we keep an eye out for in the coming years? I'll start with you, Olumide.
Okay, so for me, I think one of the exciting innovations we should look out for is, of course, AI, right? So there will be a lot of innovations around artificial intelligence, right? As Melissa said, leveraging on something like ChatGPT to build your own ChatGPT, which will be prompt engineering, right? So there will be a lot around, that. And I think there'll also be a lot of innovation around blockchain technology, right? How this would be used to leverage or scale up the cross-border payments, right? And making it easy to make payment for services, goods and services in different countries within minutes, and getting things more done easily, especially payments. So, but AI and blockchain technology, I think there will be a lot of innovation around that in the coming years. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Melissa, how about you? What's next? What should we look out for in the coming years?
So the Eastern Caribbean is in a process of digital transformation in terms of financial services. So our central bank has the first digital central bank currency, and I'm looking forward to when that is fully operational and there's more open standards that education platform can build in automated savings using digital currency.
Great. And how about you, Ketaki? What's next? What should we look out for?
So there's a lot coming up. So since we do a lot of policy impact analysis, so economic policy impact analysis, we do FDI development, tourism promotion, tourism and trade promotion. There's a lot of work, particularly in East Africa, that we are doing, and we're working alongside the governments of the country to promote trade from East Africa to the UAE and the wider GCC. So a lot of work in that direction, as well as some work here with the governments to do some impact analysis, policy impact analysis. And I mean, those are still in the pipeline, but the East African work has already come by. So, we know that for sure that we'll be working on those lines.
Okay, great. So I see a couple of questions here that I'd like to throw out there. So if you want to address it, you just go ahead. The first one is, what should be the primary focus of an entrepreneur at the conception stage? It's from
Survival. Survival, and being mindful of the resources. And I think entrepreneurship is the greatest personality development program you will ever take. And you will become much more efficient in terms of work and how you allocate resources and time. So survival, I think, is number one focus of an entrepreneur.
So to add to what Ketaki said, so also having that survival mindset, you should also ensure that at the conception stage you're trying to solve a problem, right? Um, you don't want to build something that your potential users won't pay you for, or nobody actually wants to use your product. So, conceptual stage, ensure you are solving a problem. There are several methodologies or processes you can apply to confirm or to validate your idea or validate your business. I think design thinking is one thing you can apply at the conception stage to validate that you're actually solving a problem. Then, as Ketaki said, ensure you are resilient and don't give up early, because there will be a lot of challenges that we want to like say, I'm not doing this. So yeah.
All right, great. Thank you. There was another question, but I see Melissa already addressed them in the chat feed, so that's good. There's one final one before we say our goodbyes to you. It's, what strategies or frameworks do you recommend for balancing the need for rapid growth with maintaining operational efficiency in a startup, especially when resources are limited? Um, what strategies or frameworks do you recommend for balancing the need for rapid growth while maintaining efficiency, operational efficiency within a startup? especially if you have limited resources.
Should I go? Should I answer that?
Yeah, you can go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So I'd say that rapid growth. You know, you should try and you should grow only when you must. I think there's this temptation to kind of show to the world that you're growing really fast, but please remember that whatever you do impacts you. There's no need, like, unless you really need to grow that fast. There's no need to. I mean, there's no need to like invest money to show that you've got a big office, you have 100 people working with you. So I tend to favor, so even when you're hiring staff, I've seen a lot of startups fail because they've hired too early, hired too soon, fired. So they've wasted a lot of time and money on hiring, firing, and all of that. So I think your main focus should be, like I said, survival. And when you think about survival, you also think about what you have in your bank account and how much of it would last. It would last in the next 6 months, how much of it would remain in the next 6 months. So you have to be constantly keeping an eye on how much you're actually making, right? Rather than image projection. um, it doesn't matter as to what the world thinks. It's your startup, it's about how you want to do it. And crazy growth will come, and along with that, you will become more efficient operationally, because before that crazy growth happens, you would have already run smaller teams. So you would have some system in place, and you would have that system become the backbone of that growth. So don't try to hire too soon, too quick. It's not the best that strategy. I mean, as per me.
All right.
Okay, so to add to what Ketaki had said, so I think just ensure you stay lean as possible, right? Don't assume you've generated some revenue and now you can, as you said, hire the best in the space or spend a lot of money, showing around, right? That your business is fine. So operationally, you want to stay lean. You want to keep your team as lean as possible. If you were two or three getting things done, then stay two or three for quite some time to you can actually really afford getting more hands in, right? So you can increase the responsibility of the two or three persons to get more things done, right? And ensure that growth is really achieved. Yeah, so mine is stay lean as long as you can.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much. It's been an amazing session. There was so much to unpack. And thank you for your time and sharing your experience with us. If you can see the comments in the chat, everyone is buzzing with excitement as well. But before you go, I would like to ask what's the best way to reach you? Because I see a lot of them want to connect with you to ask more about your experience as well. So what's the best way to reach you? I'll start with you, Kitaki.
LinkedIn is the best way to reach me. And yeah, I mean, I'm following Global Startup Accelerator program as well. So I just posted something there. So that's the easiest way to find me. See
Okay,
you. See you on
great.
LinkedIn.
Sure. How about you, Melissa?
Yeah, LinkedIn works, or melissabuta.com. Just my name and .com as well.
Okay, great. Follow me there.
Same for me on LinkedIn, and I'm also following Global Startup Ecosystem. So I think you can easily get me there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much. It's been an amazing time, and thank you for your thought leadership. And it's amazing to see the growth that you're all doing, and we wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Your businesses are doing so well. We are really happy to see that and to hear from you today as well. Thank you so much for coming back to share your experience with us. And we'll continue to engage you as part of the community as we welcome this new cohort that's coming in as well to add up to the GSE community. But thank you all so much for your time today.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Daniel,
having
for
me.
having us. Really grateful for the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you all. So it's been an amazing panel. I'm sure you agree with me with the speakers that came on. It's been quite an exciting time. Let me see some excitement in the chat feed. I know you're all excited. I could see a lot of engagement in the chat as well. So keep that coming. I just have a few announcements for you before we transition to the next, when we look forward to the next stage of the Accelerator program. So for this week, as part of the Global Entrepreneurship Week, is why we are going live on StreamYard. And for those that are asking about recording for the program, this week's sessions, for the one today and the one we have on Thursday, will be streamed live. So you have access to that for a period of time whilst it's live on YouTube. So once you go to the Global Startup Ecosystem page on YouTube, you have access to today's session there. For Thursday, look forward to an email. What we'll do it to avoid any confusion. We'll keep on updating you about the next session and the links to join, even though we've set out the calendar invite to the end of the program, but you will be giving updates the day before. So for tomorrow's session, you have you look out for an email and a calendar invite from me, or an update for the calendar inside updates from me about the session tomorrow. But for today's program, it will be available on the GSE channels on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn as well. So look out for it for those that were asking about the session today. So we look forward to the session on Thursday, where we would welcome another lineup of speakers for you that will announce in the emails as well. So look out for an email. So throughout this program, look out for emails from the team. We do communicate a lot throughout emails, and we'll create an official channel where you could also have someone winding down. I saw someone asking about WhatsApp and other platform. We'll see to it that we get that done as well. So for this week's program, just reiterating the announcements, will be for Thursday's program. We'll most likely be coming back on StreamYard for it. Then moving forward from that, we'll have more private sessions where now you could also engage with them and ask questions. Let the speakers also hear your voices as well, where it could be more engaging and more private as well. Okay, so it's been an amazing congratulations. It's an amazing time. Congratulations once again to all of you for being accepted into the program. It's been an exciting first session. We heard from Christine. We heard from the first panel of ecosystem builders, ecosystem leaders that included Bruce Wade, who's an exponential innovator, a speaker and a coach, as well as an author. We also heard from Tina Peak, who is the founder of Project Cal. We also heard about from Lester Oliver, who is the founder of Literary Globe. They were on the panel that was ecosystem leaders talk, how to build and scale your company within a digital age. Then we just heard from the alumni panel that we had Melissa Butun, the founder of Your Money Worth, Ketaki Sharma, the founder and CEO of Algorithm Research, and Olumide Ogunle, who is the growth and expansion manager from Overlaps Incorporated, and also the founder of ProBar. That was on the Alumni Insights, talking about scaling success. Thank you all so much for joining the session today. My name is Daniel Tete, and we'll be seeing you all on Thursday. So look out for the email from the team about the session on Thursday, and also do check your calendar invites for any updates about upcoming programs. Thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
But this world, as big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you.